I love that intro so much. Shout out again to Mothhawk. That was amazing. Welcome everybody to Let's Talk MetaZoo. It's been a minute since we've actually done one of these. Earth Tower got in the way. But tonight's show is going to be amazing. My name is Turmentic. Of course, you all know me. To my left, right, we'll get this right one night, is the one and the only Mike CNO from TCG Island. And underneath us, our guest of honor tonight, the wonderful, the beautiful Mr. Kris Kampmann. Thank you so much for being here, man. Like, for real, I'm stoked that you're here. Yeah, I'm thankful. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, we.
What?
I was just gonna say something totally random, but go ahead.
I was gonna say I was looking at the chat right now. We got MetaZoo, Streamy Weenie, Cutthroat. I see Poncho's here. So is Wayward, Plumberry.
We got Kelsey,
Lily, Kelsey. All of you. Look at you guys. I love how much of a family you guys are. Like artists.
We are a family.
I love how much. And one of the things I want to talk about, if you can, later on, like we got some other stuff, but I just want to remember, is the retreat you guys went on to, because we didn't talk about that before the beginning of the interview. But yeah, let's just get right into it, because I don't want to waste any time actually with you. So Kris, the beautiful, the amazing, tell me, where are you from? Like, give me some info about little Kris.
Well, first of all, I will say my favorite beastie is Squonk.
Oh, I didn't ask the question.
You missed it.
So man, I messed up. Look, okay. So
you're slacking, man.
I know. I'm so nervous right now. I forgot my one job.
It's the beard. I'm
Kris,
sorry.
Actually, rewind that. All right, we're gonna stop this and then restart. You have to watch the intro again. What is your favorite cryptid, and why is it Squonk?
Oh man, because Squonk is cheeked, man. He's got those cakes. Man, I've drawn so many Squonks just on that Christmas card. I drew 12 of them. I think that beats everybody.
Fair.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot my favorite question.
It's okay. I wanted to answer it. I was preparing for it.
I know. But, I'm so mad at myself. See, this is what happens when we take a week off. No more taking weeks off.
Right.
No vacations, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get to So with my blender, we'll get to your favorite beastie, favorite cryptid, local cryptids. What ones have? Oh my God, Dean! Thank you, man. You're amazing, Dean, with the super chat. First MetaZoo artist I ever met. Dean? That's awesome.
That's cool.
But like I was saying, tell me some info about little Kris. Like, where did you grow up? Things like that.
So little Kris, I grew up. I was born in 1988. For anybody who cares, and I'm an 80s kid, and Fresno, California. I'm a Californian. Yeah, I know. Don't hold it against me. And for all my California friends, I grew up in Fresno, California. My dad, he is a chiropractor, massage therapist, but he was in school. He was an artist, and like a fine artist. He painted and he drew all the time. And he even has like stuff hanging in the Art Institute in like San Francisco or something like that. One of the art institutes in California. There's like 3 or 4 of them, but he's got art hanging in there, and he won awards in Fresno for his art. And so as soon as I could pick up a pencil, basically I was drawing. He was showing me how to do it, showing me the ropes. And then my grandmother, actually on my mother's side, so my mom's mom, she's also an artist. She does a lot of like landscape stuff, a lot of Thomas Kincaid type work. And so whenever I went over to her house, she was always painting and teaching me how to paint. So I got it from my dad, got it from my mom, and my aunt on my dad's side was a professional artist. And all my cousins pretty much dabble in art from one place or another. But aside from that, growing up further, I moved to Oceanside, California. And it really sparked in my 3rd grade my third grade teacher, Mrs. Dunn, really inspired me into getting into art. And she was always talking about art. She's an artist herself. I'm actually still friends with her on via Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. And she would have us paint and draw almost every day. Like, it wasn't part of the curriculum. She just wanted us to do something. And I always want to thank her for really kind of inspiring me to get into that. And then from there, you know, middle school and high school, I was just drawing everything I could with all my friends. We started our own little comic books. They looked mostly like Dragon Ball characters. Yeah. Drawing Sonic characters, anything we could. We were super nerdy, man. It was great.
That's awesome. Did you ever collect any like sort of TCGs or anything like that when you were younger? Yes.
It started with Pokemon. Well, actually, back that up. My dad is a huge baseball card collector. He collected baseball cards, football cards, Garbage Pail Kids, all those random stuff. Actually started my collection with wrestling cards. So that was the one thing I liked. I didn't really like sports. I wasn't a big sports guy. So I was like, what do I like wrestling. And so getting into like WWF, when it was WWF, cards. And then from there it was Pokemon, and then Yu-Gi-Oh! I collected Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball Z cards, when the Dragon Ball Z trading card. Yeah. I actually was in a bunch of tournaments for Dragon Ball Z. That one was my favorite. I love Dragon Ball Z, and I have to say that like Akira Toriyama is probably one of my biggest inspirations for my art. But just getting into art, I drew Dragon Ball Z constantly.
So okay, well, since you said that, I gotta ask, what is your favorite Dragon Ball Z arc?
Oh, favorite Dragon Ball Z arc. Oh gosh. I'm
assuming you watched it if you drew it and played it.
Yes, I've watched everything. Everything they got. It's hard to say. I'm gonna say Cell Saga.
My man. Okay.
It's a solid one. And then my favorite character, I don't want to break him. Here he is. It's Piccolo.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Seb actually got this for me for my birthday.
Oh, that's awesome. Again, going back with the whole artist. I love how you guys are such a family. It's so cool.
Well, hold on. You said you collected wrestling cards. Who was your favorite wrestler?
So in the 80s, it was the Ultimate Warrior.
Okay.
I loved. I don't think I had like a favorite because I liked a lot of them. But Stone Cold Steve Austin probably is right at the top.
There we go.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites.
Oh, and Randy Savage.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Actually, just because of the voice.
I dressed up like him a couple times. I don't have the hair, but I got the beard.
And that was my next question, actually. What product do you use for that beard, man? Because that thing is beautiful, dude. And
it's always
I'm trying to get mine like that.
Jealous.
So that's beautiful.
It's secrets. I can't tell you.
Ah.
It's squonk juice.
That was awesome. That was a good one.
So what did you do? So once you actually graduated from high school, what did you kind of do after that? Did you try to pursue more art? Or did you go to school?
No. Yes, kind of. Okay, here, let me explain. No, let me sum up. No, I graduated high school with very little aspirations. I kind of just like to chill and hang out at that time. Before that, I met my soon-to-be wife, and she was like, "You need to get a job and start doing things." I was really lazy, and I didn't have a whole lot of things I was doing except for drawing and playing video games. And right out of high school, I went and volunteered at like a preschool and hung out there for a little while. And then after that, I went to a Bible college. Yeah. And so I went to Bible college for one semester and that was in Murrieta, Hot Springs, California. And after that semester, a pastor who came from that Bible college was like a distant cousin of mine, and asked me if I wanted to come visit them in Paris, Texas, and where they were starting a church. And I said sure. So I went out there, and I was engaged by this time, and I went out there I was supposed to be there for like a week, and they offered me like a internship, and I was like, okay, I got nothing else going on. And so I did that, and then they offered me a job, and I became like their tech guy. And that lasted for about 2 years. And during that time, I got married to my wife in 2009, and then we had our first kid. And then I started a job at a police department in Paris, Texas. And this is all I'm getting there. So I started a job as a emergency dispatcher, a 911 operator in Paris, Texas, and I did that for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And during that whole time,
that's a hard job. A lot of people don't understand
yeah.
that. That's a really, really, really hard job. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Yeah. The turnover is really high.
Mm-hmm.
The turnover is about 1 year to 2 years. And so 5 years is pretty rare. I worked with people that there was 2 that were there for like 18 and 20 years. And I'm like, I have no idea how you do this.
Yeah.
I can tell you I won't get into the gruesome details, but there's some things that I would go home and I just, cry on my wife's shoulder. Because there's some crazy stuff that happens in this world. But yeah, during that time, I was also the volunteer youth pastor at that same church. And so I did that at the same time as working as dispatcher. And then one day I just felt like I need to go to Dallas, Fort Worth area. And so we did.
You guys just up and moved to Dallas, Fort Worth?
Yeah. We went we moved to Forney, Texas, which is just east of Dallas. And I started a job at Trader Joe's. And then after that, I started a job in concrete. So I worked at Trader Joe's for 2 years. And I worked in concrete for 3 years. And then then the pandemic hit. So we're caught up to where we are now. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I've done a lot of stuff. And
that's awesome,
anyway, so during 2020, during the pandemic, I got laid off from my concrete job, and I had no idea what I was going to do. I'm like, everything I've done so far is all hands-on, like labor type work or like in-person things, which nobody was doing. And I didn't want to do dispatch again. And so I just was like, well, maybe I'll start drawing. And this was like the boom for like Pokemon again, the Renaissance, the Pokemon Renaissance, if you will. And a lot of it happened in the Dallas area because that's where like Leonhardt's at, and that's where the Dallas card show was still going, even though the Chicago show shut down because of the pandemic. Dallas was like, hey, we're fine. Because Texas.
That sounds like Texas.
And so I was like, hey, I'm gonna go. I'll backtrack just a little bit. The Dallas card show is where I did my very first show, and it was because I had never heard of it, and I was at the church that I attend now. I was the like middle school teacher on Sundays, and one of the guys that I volunteer with, Adam, he's a big card collector, big baseball card collector, and we started talking about Pokemon and cards and stuff. And he's like, you should come with me to the Dallas card show and sell your art. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll do that. And so I went, and that's actually where I met Steve Aoki there.
Oh, wow.
Like he happened to show up there. Yeah. And then Leonhardt and just a bunch of other like people that they had nowhere else to go because Texas was the only place open. So they were all there. And I started selling my Pokemon art at the Dallas card show. And then around that time, the guys at Collecticon were starting theirs. At the time, it was called PokeCon. That's how they started. It was PokeCon, and I was talking back and forth with the owners of PokeCon, getting my booth and helping to invite people to the show. And anyway, just like one thing led to another. There is where I met Gary, and then Gary at the very next Collecticon introduced me to Mike, and that's where I kind of started my career with MetaZoo.
Nice.
So,
So how did that actually how did you end up actually getting the actual job with MetaZoo? If you can tell that story.
I can tell a story.
Because you told me a little bit, and it's quite amazing in my opinion.
All right, so in between the first and the second Collecticon, that's where the magic happened. I was still doing my Pokemon art. I was meeting with Gary. We did a couple lives. We auctioned off some stuff for like their autism charity. And we can talk about autism in a little bit too, because that's like, it's Autism Awareness Month, and my brother's autistic, and that's why we connected so well. But anyway, so during that time, in between those two conventions, I had a house flood. So like the rains came in and flooded my garage and my studio and part of my kitchen and a dining room. It just like, it came in. it was bad. And I couldn't, the insurance wasn't going to take care of it, and I couldn't afford anything. And there was like walls were taken down, and there was no insulation. And so I started like this campaign, like selling my commissions. I was like, help me rebuild my house, commissions. And Gary was helping me with that, and he donated a lot to help our family, because we had become very close. And then Mike reached out to me and was like, hey, I can't do much right now, because this is early 2021. He's like, I can do much right now, but I can wave my wand and make you an official MetaZoo artist. And I was like, okay, sure, let's do it. And he goes, okay, cool. And then I started talking with Victor, and me, Peckham, and Isaac all got hired on at the same time.
Okay.
We're like all right around the same time. I know me and Peckham like almost the exact same time, because we worked on our first project together, and that was like creating that red banner with all the beasties on it that you see at like all the conventions.
That was you?
Awesome.
That was you and him?
We helped on some of them. They added some from the cards, but they wanted some new ones, and so me and him added some to that. So yeah, I did the Hodag, the Jersey Devil, the Frogman, and the Mothman. No, not the Mothman. What was it? Oh, Cumberland Dragon. Yeah, for that.
Oh,
for that thing.
Nice. Okay, cool. So that's why they actually look slightly different on the banner than the actual original art. And okay.
Yep.
Okay, that makes so much. I did not know that. That's super cool.
Yep. So that's kind of how that whole thing started. And then the next Collecticon, I was technically an official MetaZoo artist, but it hadn't really been announced yet, and I hadn't really done anything except for that banner. And so yeah, I was just there selling my Pokemon cards or Pokemon art at the same time that MetaZoo was, had their first convention over, and it was crazy. That first convention, it was really awesome to see everybody kind of pouring in, like, what is this thing? What is this new, really cool looking trading card game?
So was the first thing that you really worked on, was it Nightfall? I mean, besides the banner?
So my very first creature or cryptid or beastie that I created, it was a yokai. It was Mizuchi for the postcards.
Oh, the postcards. That's right. I forgot about. I feel dumb because I didn't grab them when they were $5 on the marketplace, and Like I always forget about them.
Yeah, that was my official first creation, was the Water Dragon Mizuchi.
That's pretty cool.
And then I created the Dejang after that. It was like a little, it's from China. And there's a little fat flying like pig thing that doesn't have eyes. It can't see, but it can hear and hum, I guess. But it doesn't have ears either, but it can fly. It's just like kind of really, it's almost like Squonk-like. It's kind of like one of those like, oh, it's so ugly, it's cute. What are you? I feel sorry for you. kind of things. But then after that, yeah, Nightfall was the first official like cards that I got onto.
I always forget that we've had yokai since like early 2021. Like, because like I mean they're going to be huge next year when Yokai Island comes out. Like this time, maybe this time next year, I think. But yeah, that's crazy. That's super cool. Sorry, I got caught up.
And Neko Mata was the other one that I created from the yokai. It's like a little cat that has a samurai sword.
Now, do you know?
With a dual tail.
Well, you can't actually tell us. I was gonna say, do you know if any of those are gonna be in yokai? But I know you can't tell us that. I already know. You probably, to be honest, I don't even know if you actually would even know too, because like you guys are currently, I think, working on War or finishing up War. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We're gonna stay away from that. We're not gonna ask it. We're not gonna talk about any of that stuff. So, what is your favorite? So, are you because of you said you were born in Fresno? I have to ask. Are you fond of the Nightcrawlers?
Oh heck yeah! I have a Fresno Nightcrawler collection.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the one and only sample card that I have is a Fresno Nightcrawler.
That's cool. I need a sample. I want a sample frog so bad. What is your favorite beastie that you've ever drawn?
Golly. I think just because of it being the first one that I did, the Mizuchi was like one of my very favorites because it's a dragon. I love dragons. I told Mike I want to draw all the dragons, and I guess second, for the cards, I would say that guy, the Iowa Dragon. That one was a lot of fun to create, and I really enjoyed creating him and learning about how there's not a whole lot of lore, but there's a lot of like weird talk about it. People seeing it, burning fields and things like that. So, but you would know better than me, I think.
I was gonna say I run into that sometimes with like the Cryptic Collection videos where it's like, okay, this is like half a sentence. How do I finish this sentence?
Yes.
Yeah, there's like literally you look up a couple beasties and it's like, here are 2 sentences about this thing, and you're like, all right, cool. Well, there's 4 other websites, and you go to the other website. It's like, hey, here are the same 2 sentences that cite that first website that you went
copied and pasted it.
And it's like, okay, and that's literally all you have are those 2 sentences to go off of. So, oh wow, that's crazy.
Short of actually buying plane tickets and flying out to that place and asking the locals, right? That's the best you're gonna get.
Actually, I mean, well, yeah, no, there's no way I can travel around and do that. No, can't do it. So I thought about it for a second. So so you said dragons are your favorite type of beastie to actually draw.
Yeah.
So and I know you don't actually get to pick which ones that you get to do. I know I'm pretty sure they're assigned, but do you try to incorporate a little bit, if you can, of dragon into the beasties that you draw?
Yeah. Sometimes I get in trouble for it too. They're like, this is not a dragon. This is a whatever. I'm like, can I make it a dragon? Yeah.
I just had that feeling. I had to ask that because I had that feeling. I was like, you like to sneak dragons into stuff.
Yeah, I like to see. I like hiding lots of things in my art. Like, I know in Wilderness, I hid a lot of stuff in Wilderness. Like every card that I drew in Wilderness, I hid my name, my initials in every card. So if you look, some of them were cut out, I think, not on purpose, but just because that's how they cropped it. Yeah, and I put it too close to the edge. But every card, the original, has my initials somewhere in it.
That's
alongside
funny.
other things that I like to hide in them.
You're gonna make me have to go back and look at my wilderness cards now.
Yeah, no, that's what I was. I did not know that. That is.
Yeah,
That is
I would have to go and actually start to circle. Ah, this is where it
Yep.
is, right here.
Yep.
Just circle them. Start circling.
Actually, Alan, can you add that to the website so we can spot all the initials and add them on there?
Put it on the serialized website. Yes, I like that.
That's good.
So, wow, man. So what would you say is? You said okay. So you said your favorite BC that you ever drew actually was the first yokai that you ever were given. What
Yeah.
would you say that's your favorite one as well?
Yeah, well, I think so. And it was hard because there's so many of them, man. It's because part of being an artist is you put a lot of yourself in the cards and in the art, and so really there's a lot of them I love for different reasons, and I don't know if I could really truly pick a favorite. The only reason I would say Mizuchi is because it was my first. But other than that, like I love everything that I've done. Like this new native set, I did quite a few BCs in that one, and I really enjoyed every single one of them. They were all a lot of fun to draw for different reasons. Like was super fun to draw. I love buffalo, I think, or bison. They're really cool. They're really cool forms. It's nice to do something a little different, stockier, different. I like strong things. Like Nanook was a really good one for me. I really like.
Nanook. Oh, Nanook is on.
That is a huge fan.
And like you hit the
Yes.
lore of Nanook on the head. I feel with that illustration as well too.
Now, you asked me earlier if there was one that took off that I didn't expect to take off. That would probably be it, because I drew it. I loved it, but I was like, it's just a bear. And everyone was like, "Oh, that's crazy."
Well, in the cryptid theory video that I did, when I was actually like trying to basically prove that this was Nanook, when all they did was just show us the image, it reminded me of Yorick Verninson from the Golden Compass, and so that's one of the reasons. And I mentioned that in the mid video, and it's one of the reasons why Nanook is one of my favorites in this set, is because I love the Golden Compass, and like yes, that he 100%. I was like, oh, that's that. It just reminded me of Yorick Verninson. So it was great.
I love
the colors that you guys used in Native too, though. Like there's many bright, vibrant. Was that an actual? If you can tell us, was that a directional choice that you as an artist team made, or was that something that like Andy and Mike kind of pushed you guys towards?
It was a directive from the beginning, from Andy and Mike, to have kind of like this not neutral, but like kind of like somber, very very organic, but rich organic look to it. It's very different from all the other sets. It has a very kind of not muted, well, I guess a little muted tones, but
it's almost like the hue was turned all the way up, like on some of the colors.
Yes.
Like it, and that's, I mean, like I'm sitting over here looking, like I'm just looking at some of them, and like especially with like the fusion auras and stuff like that. I mean, like the War Twins right here, just like the green and the yellow, like it's hard to actually see in the video, but that's the one thing that I've noticed the most about Native, and it's made me fall in love with it, is the fact of just how vibrant the colors are.
They're ridiculous. Yeah.
There they are.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
There's the original guys.
That's so awesome. So do you guys get to keep the originals? Like, do they send them back to you at all, or do you
no, so what we do is we scan them in, and then we send them off, and then when the set's done, we package them up and send them up to MetaZoo headquarters.
Okay. Nice. So and I mean, because everything is still pretty much hand painted. So
yes, everything.
So you have to actually let it dry and then put it through a scanner in order to actually send the image to them.
If you're painting.
Okay. Okay.
I use primarily Copic markers and Prismacolors.
Oh,
pencils.
okay.
So I use a combination of these.
Hey, look at that collection back there, man.
I know, right?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them back there.
That's
Yeah, you can see 'em.
awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So if you're allowed, I talked to you about this before. However much you're allowed to actually tell us, or you even want to tell us, what is your process from getting like the assignment or even pre-assignment to status finished?
So as soon as I get, for say like a beastie, I immediately go to Google and I start looking and finding out as much as I can. And also talking to Emilio. I like to talk to Emilio about a lot of this stuff too, because he always has something to say about it. Love Emilio. But yeah, I start researching as much as I can, just finding out anything I can about it, and then writing down like things that stand out to me, and then I just start conceptualizing what I would think it would look like, and if it's like, it's like a bear, Nanook, for instance, like there's a lot of polar bear references to it, so I'm gonna make it a polar bear, but I'm gonna make it like a war chief polar bear, one that's like super yoked and not gonna take anything from anybody. Or for like that one didn't have a whole lot of information as far as like describing what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But I took pieces of like what they how it interacts, what is connected to it. So like the bison, I read there was a lot of interaction with bison in Wii's lore, and then the sun, of course. Mm-hmm. And so I combined the two and try to really make it cohesive, and then it's a back and forth with Andy and Mike on tweaking and making it look more and more MetaZoo or not. Me not. Sometimes I go backwards and then on accident.
It's too much dragon, Chris. It's too much dragon. Less dragon.
It's too much dragon.
More bison.
Why are you making the buffalo look like a dragon?
Buffaloes don't have wings.
That's what I was literally about to say.
Can it breathe fire though?
Oh, that's awesome.
It's got to do with the sun. No, but yeah, it's just back and forth and tweaking and making it to its perfect form, and then off to the races. So really it's like a threefold, like it's conceptual, and then it's the tweaking part, and then it's finalizing it. So it's like line work and then coloring. And then they usually let me kind of go whatever I want with the coloring. They're like, yeah, you know what to do.
How long does it typically take you from like start to finish to like create the beastie? Like how long roughly would you say it takes before you're ready to send it off to MetaZoo for final?
Like 30 minutes. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa. Jeez.
I'm just joking. That's Poncho. That's Poncho. That's playing. Poncho is super fast.
He's like, I finished war with during this interview. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
There's like 3 right here. No, it varies. I think really just maybe around in total, if you're there's time differences and things that happen in between, the back and forth. So not counting that, I would say probably around 3 or 4 hours in total of working directly on that. I think
now, is that
around
just line work, or is that color included?
That, for me, that's coloring included too.
Okay. And do you know how many of published cards already? Like, do you know how many total arts you've done?
Oh no, I don't know. Golly, probably at least over 300.
Golly,
that's crazy.
Because you got all those mini sets and tops, and
the secondary ones. That's still crazy though.
Because just in native, I did 31.
Oh wow! So does every artist not work on every set?
It
Or
just
is
depends.
there like more responsibility? Like you might touch a set, but only be a couple cards because your focus is more over here, where somebody else will have a bigger role in the other one.
Yeah, it can
Okay.
work like that, and it's also like availability and like who's able to work on what at this time, and there's a lot of different factors that go into it. But the more available you are, the more cards you're gonna do, basically.
Nice. Streamy had actually a good question. He asked, how does the research portion work? Let me actually bring it up real quick. How does the research portion work? Do you get all the lore before starting out? Do the artists have to find all the lore themselves, or is there someone on the team dedicated to lore hunting?
Yes. It's kind of all three, to be honest. There's like some of it's the art, because there are dedicated people who do the research for the lore. There's some lore is given in the beginning, and then there's some lore that comes through research from the artists, and that could be all on the same card. Like it, and then you talk to whoever you're going back and forth with, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know or realize that aspect of it. That's a really good point. Let's incorporate that." And then it just kind of goes from there. So really, it's all three of those things. That was a good question.
How long does it usually take you, would you say, on average, to get a general idea of how you want to depict a certain beastie?
Oh, that doesn't take too long.
Really?
It takes maybe like just to honestly from researching like maybe like 3 or 4 minutes, and I'm already like the gears are turning. What do I want it to look like? And it's starting to form. And
that's impressive, because kind of going back to what you're talking about, when I did the lore video about Wii, actually we were actually joking about this before we started the live stream, that there are just some cryptids that there's just no lore. And I did see the one instance of it actually talking. It wasn't one, it was a couple, but it was like one of those where it was a couple people citing the same source about it being like related to bison. But that was it. And so like that's interesting that it doesn't take you that long to kind of conceptualize exactly what direction you want to go with, I guess.
Yeah. For Wee's a good one, because like as soon as I saw a bison, it immediately started forming in my mind. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna make him like a king stellar bison that's like hanging out in the universe. The sun, what is it? Birth of the Sun?
Birth of the Sun.
Yeah. That's really how I wanted to picture Wee, I think, in my head. That's how I pictured him. But then I was like, he needs to be on the plains.
Well, even the actual even the regular card of the actual Wii card itself, I loved how you were able to get the sun or the light behind him, I guess, in essence, to look like it wasn't just behind him and radiating around him, but it was emanating from him. And that was something that I think I even mentioned to Mike before. Like, I loved how I don't know how you did it, but you blended that all together to where it looks like all of that ray of light is literally coming from Wii himself, not from like another source. And so that was like, I like that was a nice little touch.
Thank you. That happens during like late hours when I'm crossing my eyes. Like I'm starting, I'm like, how did it blend so well? Oh, that's when I cross my eyes. That's it.
Oh yeah, right. 2:30 in the morning. I'm painting. The children are asleep. No, I hear that. Oh my God, I had to record because of all of them. Yeah. So I don't know if I didn't know you actually had how many children you had, but
I got 4.
Yeah. So this man actually does all of his art with what ages are your kids?
So I have as of, let's see, in a week he'll be 13 is my oldest. So I have a almost 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 4-year-old.
Wow. See, my man's doing all this art with all the kids.
Yep. And my studio is in my room, like cornered off, and I can see my backyard. So my little ones are always playing in the backyard, so I can always see them. Nice. So that's really cool. But yeah, they're I got 3 boys my older three are all boys. My youngest is a girl. Yeah. And so the boys treat her like a princess. Like anything she wants, she gets.
She's 4 years old too. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, and she just points at something, and they're like, "Oh, we'll help you."
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Is being a MetaZoo artist a dream come true, Kris?
Yes, I would say it was. Yeah, it was. Back to like little Kris, I had dreams of being an artist someday, and then I never really thought that I could. Like it just seemed like such a formidable thing to try and aspire to.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, really, there was just, the one thing I could visualize was animators, which I was like, I don't really know how to become an animator, or like fine artists who are doing paintings like in museums and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a total like lifestyle. They were doing all sorts of like Banksy type things, and those kind of, and I was like, I don't know how I would even start doing that kind of thing. I don't have like a history of anyway, I was like, I don't know how to do it. So I didn't pursue it right away. And then when I met Mike, it just fell in my lap, and I was like, oh, this is a dream come true.
You were doing what you were supposed to be doing at that point.
Yes. It felt like it clicked
happened.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I don't ever want to do anything else. I always want to be an artist of some kind.
That's awesome. Vapor Trails has a really good question I saw. Is it harder to work on a beastie that has an established aesthetic like Santa, or one that is less established? More creative freedom?
Ooh, that is a good question. I would say it's easier to create a new beastie, one that isn't established. So the creative freedom makes it easier, so you don't have to, Jersey Devil, does it have 5 spikes coming out or 2 horns? Make sure you get all the horns correct, and you have to be pretty consistent about the particulars on something. Like, for example, like Mishi Peshu, you have to make sure he's got the 3 little things on his face and 2 horns and the ears, and you got to count the ears. How many stripes does he have? Does he have any circles? And you got to be very particular. And so it's really going back and forth, like making sure that you have it looking so much like the original, that when you create a brand new character, you're creating that standard. So it's really whatever you want. And so you don't have to be as particular with it. You can have a little more like, oh, I'm just going to mess around with it.
Well, one thing, my favorite art that you've done so far is the Nightfall Revive Mothman. I love that freaking art. And if you didn't know this about me already, I'm kind of a professional skateboarder. So,
define professional.
I self-proclaimed professional skateboarder.
I've seen him do an ollie. He can do an ollie. He can do a
ollie pretty high, actually. But no, I got a bunch of people in the chat right now. Yeah, I knew.
Yeah,
it.
there he is.
I knew it was coming through. Yeah. No, but honestly, that artwork, I freaking, it's stellar, man. It's just, yeah. Favorite revive deck out of all of them.
That one was a lot of fun to do. I remember, I think it was Andy, and I was like, Andy, can I make him like lasering the hell out of something? And he goes, do it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And so I just went all out. Super, like, he was almost like Superman looking. It was a lot of fun.
My favorite is, of course, me being who I am, Adam Ackler from Nightfall. And like, that's one of the other things too, though, until the IP really drops, people aren't going to appreciate Adam the way that he needs to be appreciated. And so, well,
Right?
I mean,
I agree.
thank you. He's one of the main characters of the storyline of the lore itself. I mean,
And
he's
he's
Sam's
like
best friend. He grew up with him. He's his brother almost in essence. So I
he's
wanted to
like the
ask,
goat
like,
too.
well, how did that process of coming up with Adam's design? How did you kind of come up with that process in order to depict him? Because I mean, that was a very important, and again, most people won't get this not until about 5 months down the line.
Yeah.
Doing Adam is a big deal to me because it's no different than Sam Sinclair's first card from Cryptid Nation. I mean, it's the first time we really see him as a card. So, like, describe that kind of process a little bit, how you actually designed him and everything like that.
Yeah. So Adam was one of the 3 first cards that I did, like for Nightfall. It was I started with Fufulet, and then I did Adam. And then right after that was what was it? Oh, it was Hope Diamond. But then
Okay.
Adam, I worked exclusively with Mike on that one. So it was like me and Mike texting each other on the phone even. Like now we do Discord and we have like a whole process set up, but like it was me and Mike like on the phone texting, trying to get this looking right. Like what do I put on here? What goes on his cape? You know, what's going on around his neck? And it was quite the process. It was a lot of fun though. And there was a lot of, you could tell that Mike was really passionate about that one in particular. And so he had a lot to do with that, with the creative part of creating Adam.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of brought it to life and added some, you know, embellishments here and there of my own. Like the necklace was a lot of my own, and then he added some things to it.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, it was a fun process. Like the necklace is very Blood Ruby reminiscent. You probably noticed that, but
oh, it was just I was just curious of the process with it, because the couple images that we have of Adam in the comics, the translation to, and again, you probably can't answer this, but in Nightfall, in my opinion, again, is the 2031 timeline. It's 2031 at that point, so that's Adam grown up. That's not little kid Adam anymore. And so the aging of Adam, I loved everything about that card. And that was before I even started really doing the whole thing with the lore. But I was just like, wait a minute, it's a named caster, because they don't just name casters willy-nilly in sets and stuff.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get answers out of you to fill us.
No, I'm not. I promise, my man, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
It's okay. I'm used to it. I just smile.
No, that's just cool though. That's really, I like that you and Mike were able to work off of each other so well to be able to create that. Because again, like I keep saying, that is such an important card that people just overlook. They're like, whatever. I'm like, no, that's every single one of them you need to keep. That Rose, Sam, everything.
Yeah, they're very, very important to the storyline and the future lore. When the books come out and you know the shorts and all that, everyone's gonna be like, oh, that's why that's important.
Gail wants to know, or he wants to let you know that his favorite beastie is Friendly Snowman. Do you have any fun facts about that cryptid that you learned when you were coming up with it?
No, that one's one of those. Really wasn't a whole lot of. It was just like creating its own MetaZoo character.
Okay.
It's like a MetaZoo exclusive IP type thing, because there was no. It was like Frosty the Snowman is like what you got for a magic snowman. So I just was like, all right, I'm gonna. So okay, Friendly Snowman is in Wilderness is basically the same one as the Christmas promo snowman, just a little bit different attire. He wears a different scarf, and
he's getting stylish for Christmas. You know,
he's
the holidays.
Yeah, on that one I worked with JoJo and No, it was JoJo. Yeah, I worked with JoJo to because she was working on the Eternal Snowflake one, and we wanted to incorporate both the snowflake, snowball, and the snowman. So we worked together to kind of that was an interesting one because we both kind of worked to design it together as two artists working on the same one, and yeah, that was a fun process. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, there's not a lot of lore behind it, just adding things that I loved about a snowman. So obviously I had to have a top hat. I wanted to give him a dragon tail, but they were like, no, you can't do
that. So I just thought of something. Was that kind of was Wilderness really the only set where a lot of, not to say a lot, but a few of the beasties in essence kind of were collaborations between artists? Because Wilderness is also the one where you have the Bigfoot, which was a combination of Afton and Jet. And that's interesting that you actually said that. So was that kind of the only one, maybe?
That was, you talking about Bigfoot?
Well, no, I'm talking about just like Wilderness as a whole. Was it actually like, do you guys collaborate a lot on cards together?
Yeah. There's not a ton, but we do talk about our cards a lot to each other now. It's more like we get in the group chat and we just chat about what we're doing. And they're like, "Oh, this would be cool if you add this into there," or
I want to be in that group chat.
I want to, right? It's a fun group chat. You got to watch out for Siobhan's mouth though. She's like a salty sailor. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
He's calling you out, Siobhan.
Siobhan, if you're listening, you know I love you.
I would. Looks like you're probably going to be getting some people requesting dragon tails on any doodles.
Oh
no!
We just started something.
That's a weird one. Right?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Hasbar had a good question that we jumped. Did you already, or did you know that Green Man was going to be a serialized card when you drew it or not? Like, do you guys know what the secret rare cards and things like that are?
What's Green Man?
What
are you talking about?
Are secret rares? Are they?
I don't. Is it? I don't think it's not a thing.
No, they're not.
No.
They're not.
No. You missed your shot there, Alan. Secret rares are real. Secret serialized rares are real. There, I said it for you. Now
my goodness.
Shot. Sorry, I messed up earlier in the stream too, Alan.
I don't know. Actually, I'm just playing. Yeah, I did know.
That's awesome.
Do you guys always know when it's going to be a serialized rare or
no
or anything like that?
No, we do not.
Oh, interesting. So do you now? You don't actually, because I think I remember actually Jet telling me this too. You guys don't actually get to see the cards a lot of times until we bring them to you at conventions and others or post them and stuff like that, correct?
Yep. Yeah, so and we don't usually see the finalized version until the set's released.
Oh, interesting.
Or there's like spoilers. Those are like the first times that we see them too.
I actually do remember. I think Bailey was. There was a stream he was doing, and I think he was opening. Can't remember what set it was, but he was literally opening it, getting the hit out, and then giving it to the artist as soon as he would pull it, because it was their first time receiving the card as well. Yeah, I do remember that.
Bailey's good to us. He does that a lot.
Awesome.
So this is a really random question too, but who designs when you actually have a card, who designs like the outside edges of that?
So the artists design like the bookmarks.
Okay.
Like the one on the side, the artists do that.
Okay.
So the bookmarks that have the aura type and like what do you call them? Like their feats or their
traits.
The traits. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever the traits are, the bookmark that we design those. So we illustrate those. Those are hand drawn. And then the rest of it is designed by Green Star World Elliot.
Oh,
he kind of comes up with that. Yeah. He doesn't. He's the unsung hero.
It's pretty cool. So like on like for like the Atabey and stuff like that, up here at the top where it's the blue and the purple,
Mm-hmm.
that's actually him.
To the best of my knowledge, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
what he
that was
does.
just a really random because I've always been curious because I've noticed that every set it's always different around the cards, but it's consistent based off the aura color. And that was
Yeah.
just something that popped in my head because that's a very rare opportunity to be able to get plethora of knowledge.
Way back when it was Mike doing it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Way back when, though. That was before me.
Was there a red sleeve on that card?
On what card?
That Atabey you just held up.
It was an orange sleeve.
Oh, okay. It looks like a miscut card on screen, dude. It looks like
Oh.
a perfectly cut card. I was like,
Yeah, it did.
what are you holding right now?
Who knows? So somebody had a really good question. Demon Fergus has a question. Any cryptid dragon you were looking forward to seeing in the MetaZoo universe or cryptid in general? Just one that you're interested in actually seeing. Yeah, we're not trying to try to get info from you.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm really excited for like. Okay.
If they don't give you the dragons and yokai, we riot.
Sounds good to me.
I want to see your take on
really
a Japanese
excited.
dragon.
I'm really excited about Grimm's Kingdom, like all of the European lore. That's where all my family. I'm obviously, super white, so I'm German, Irish, and Scottish, and those are like my three. Oh, and Norwegian, and so I'm like a Viking Scotsman.
Wow, watch out.
So I'm very excited to do those kind of characters stuff, that I'm familiar with, like banshees, of course, and like
I was gonna say, what's your favorite Grimm's fairy tale?
Oh gosh,
I've been asking that question a couple of times lately because I'm interested just to see where everybody lands. It's the Kraken.
Okay, this is probably a cop out answer, but I really love the Hansel and Gretel story.
It's a great one. It's like,
terrifying.
The real story is very terrifying. No, you're right. It's terrifying. Like most people don't understand, Grimm's fairy tales are not fairy tales. They are literally you're gonna get eaten tales for the most part. Like yeah.
I remember finding, because I was like a library urchin. I would go to the library during lunchtime at school and just read books all the time. And I remember finding like an actual Grimm's fairy tales book and like, oh, I'm going to read this. And then I was like, I'm going to have nightmares tonight. Yeah, I did too.
Gail had another question. What's your favorite card to sign, and what is your least favorite card to sign?
Well, let's see. I love signing Iowa Dragon. It's my favorite one to sketch on, and so that one's my favorite to sign. Yeah, Iowa Dragon. And then least favorite,
yeah, I don't know if you actually even have it. I don't know if there would be a least favorite one.
I don't know if
I can
have
tell you're super passionate about your art, and so I mean, anytime you get a chance to sign anything, you're probably super stoked about it.
My least signed card is like what's it called? The stew from Nightfall. I don't sign a lot of those.
Bubbling Brew.
No, it's Paul Bunyan, and he's got a big cauldron.
Oh,
I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember the name of it either. I'll be honest, I didn't even know you drew that card.
Yeah, it's not. I don't sign it a lot. The one time I did sign it, someone asked me to put good soup on it.
Boil over. No, is it boil over? Good soup.
Good soup. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna have to steal that idea now.
And I was like, oh yeah, this is good.
Okay, I'm gonna need a good
what is
soup
it?
card.
I cannot remember what it's called. Something soup.
Good soup. That's all it is. Just that's all you
Yep.
need. It's good soup. So originally, how many cards have you? What was I trying? I just had a thought and I lost it. I wanted to ask. You said originally you were given only like the 3 cards in Nightfall.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get? I mean, like, what happened once you actually finished those 3? Did you get more, or did you kind of like move on to another project, or is that kind of like you always only get a small handful at a time, or do they kind of like, all right, you're doing all of these beasties for this set right here?
No, they release them to us in batches.
Okay. How far ahead do you actually know? If you're allowed to tell us, how far ahead do you actually know of stuff that you're doing?
Of like what we're going to be assigned.
Yeah.
Like when
have they already assigned SCP stuff to you, or are they just is everything war focused at the moment? I know. I didn't mean. I'm not trying to get info from you.
I know you're not. It's hard not to ask those questions because they're just like they're natural questions that come up when you're just talking. I actually can't really say much about
that.
Fair.
No, that's fair. I'm just so curious about the process too. Like just because like you guys always seem to always be on the ball and you're always constantly working when you're available. And so I'm just like, I'm super interested. Like you said, for like you were talking about before, the top set, you guys did that back in 2021. And so it's interesting how there's never been a hiccup because of the art, because you guys are working on it so far in advance. And like, even just from talking with Andy, I know that it isn't one of those where it's been very rare. I think he told me that like Christmas Rose, I think was the only time that he was like, okay, no alterations. So like, I even know was just talking to him that like the art's kind of sent back to you guys at least on average 2 to 3 times for the most part, it seems like. And so it's impressive that you're able to keep that timeline so far in advance as well. And just like, I'm just curious about the process. That's all it is.
You let Andy answer those questions.
I want to get Andy on here. Be like, Andy, answer these questions. We need answers.
Yep. Wayward Caster, you have a prized MetaZoo item that you own in your collection.
As far as like official merchandise or something like that, obviously I have one of the MetaZoo Illustrator cards, the one with the Loveland Frogman and the paintbrush that Poncho did. There's not a lot of those, and I think it's really cool. Cool to have. So that's definitely a prized one. And then as far as like stuff that the artists have like given me, Lily drew a unicorn for my daughter for her birthday. She drew a picture. It's like a 7x7, and then a sketch card of the unicorn, and my daughter loved it. And so that's another thing that I love.
That's awesome.
Again, back to the family thing, right?
No, I love it. Hey, my big kick for the last 2 weeks, ever since the Earth Tower, and I'm going to talk about this in the Earth Tower video, is MetaZoo family, is the family. I mean, bringing up Hasbar real quick, and Hasbar actually pulling the serialized rare the other night with his son and his wife while they were opening up packs and all sorts of stuff. And like how many times you've actually brought up your family, actually talking about like your art and everything. Like, so it's MetaZoo family. That's been my big focus the last 2 weeks. So no, don't ever apologize for that.
And right here. So if you guys haven't seen this, go on Instagram. Chris's Instagram. Go check out these burned sketch cards, man. They are so freaking cool. The Iowa Dragon one is so dope. Like,
I love that you put the lighter right next to it too. Like, haha, I burnt you with the lighter. I know that's the one.
I have him sitting right here. Yeah.
That was the one that you said sold out instantly,
man. Yeah.
Which would you say?
That's the one you posted. I think that somebody bought that instantly when you posted it, or was it
This
that
one? I
Uh,
literally posted like a corner of it, and they're like, "It's mine. I want it
yeah,
right
it's so
now."
beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. Look at
Dude,
that.
that's
funny,
freaking-
man. It's like, and I literally just finished this before the stream too.
Oh, look
Dude,
at that
that is
Wii.
cool,
Yeah.
man.
Oh,
Screenshot.
man.
There.
That's wicked. You don't want to mess with that, Bison.
Nope, not at all.
I don't want to forget this question from Hasbar because it was actually pretty cool. It was interesting. He said that some cards foreshadow future characters and events. Is this something that's communicated to the artist on their prompts for certain cards? He used, for example, the orbs from UFO were seen during Caster's Cup. Like, are you guys privy to, do they tell you the importance of something, or do they just tell you, hey, do this, this is important, but we can't tell you why?
No, they were created before.
Oh.
Those in particular, the orbs were created before the Caster's Cup. So those were created, and then they were added into the Caster's Cup. And yeah, a lot of it is kind of, it's weird how the timeline kind of works for us. Like, a lot of the stuff's already created, and so when we add it, it's just because we see it as like an already like available item to add to our stuff. Sometimes they'll tell us to add things, but other times we're like, we just do it on our own.
Cool.
And they love it when we do that. They love that we invest in the lore and try to incorporate the world into the world, like make it, a lot of stuff happening at the same time. Like, I know in native, like the forest aura I did, I added the oh crap, what's the Lily's Beastie? I can't remember the name of it right now. But he's like peeking out behind the thing, and then I added there's some mushrooms in there, and then like a little hut. And I like adding things that I've seen in other cards to those cards. Yeah. Or that one's that's the special one.
This is the fusion one.
This
I'm not
one?
showing off. I thought.
Oh
this
no,
was...
Forest Terra. The Forest
Oh,
Terra.
the Terra. Oh, the
Yeah.
Terra. Okay.
It's got the
Where is it
the
at?
Skookum. Skookum is peeking out behind the tree.
The Skookum.
Skookum. There you go. Yeah, that guy.
But yeah, I like adding we get, it's weird how the timeline works for y'all, because sometimes you'll see things that like we have already. For example, the Uktana was in UFO, but Lily had already created it, and so Seb just used it in that art, and like some other thing. But it's it just adds more curiosity to the world, and you're hooking on the fans. They're like, what is that? I need to know what that is. I'm ready for that.
I mean, I don't have it actually here, but Intergalactic, what is it? Intergalactic Council from UFO, where it has Sam standing in front of like the jury, and it has all of the different beasties from the different. 100%. That's the type of stuff that I eat up. I
bet you do. And like the UFO binder had a couple beasties that were not released yet.
Yes. The new, for example, the new Towers picture, whatever it's called, banner that actually has a bunch of the chibis that we haven't actually really seen before too. If you don't know,
yep.
Different Nations news breakdown of the Earth Tower, because he shows us. So I love how you guys hide that stuff. But more specifically, do they tell you the significance of points in the story? Like, did Mike, for example, tell you the significance of Adam when you were working on that? Because that was before the comics really came out. So like you were one of the first ones to know about his significance. I mean, I guess before they really kind of pushed anything out.
Yeah, he tried to explain it in a way that was like, this is the level of importance in the storyline. This is what he's going to be doing. This is what I foresee him doing, and like his relation to Sam and his relationship to Sam, like who he is in the story, and how important he is. Yeah, he went through all of that.
That's make sure so awesome. I love that he has that attention to detail with you guys. Like, that's so awesome. And I love that you guys all, like you said, you all talk to each other and you try to incorporate. If someone's done something before in the past, like Uktena is a great example because of the UFO card with the bubbling pot, and the two of them are right there with the one in the web. Like I knew exactly what you're talking about. Like so, like it's great that you guys can incorporate not only like the other person's art, but also their type of style too. Because tell them actually what you told me before about being able to pinpoint who did what card.
Oh yeah, it's like for me, it's a gift that I honed while I was art director, but I can just look at any art, any MetaZoo art, and I can tell you exactly which artist did it. Like 99 times out of 100. There'll be that one time I'm sure I'm like didn't have my coffee that morning. I'm like, I don't know. Is that an Isaac card? No, it's a Lily card. Okay, fine. Because now I know people are gonna come to me at the shows and be like, "Who did this one?"
Yeah.
Kelsey's like, "What's my tell? What's Kelsey's tell?"
A lightning.
You share it with us.
Is that a lightning card? It's probably Kelsey. Yeah.
Fair. Oh God.
You can tell in her colors, the colors that she uses, the way that she blends colors. That one in particular, she's pretty distinct.
Nice. Okay, now you're gonna make me go back and look at all her cards. I'm gonna have to find your signature, your initials on all of your cards now. Now I gotta go back and look at her cards now too.
And it's funny because people tell me I can never tell which ones are your cards. And so like for me, I'm a self-proclaimed chameleon. I'm like I can kind of adapt my style to look more like the other artist's style. I think Poncho is probably the easiest for me to adapt to, and Seb. I can make mine look like both of theirs pretty good now. I think it's probably because they're pretty OG. They're before me. And so I was studying their styles first. But a lot of them I can really try and, lean mine into looking like. And so a lot of the times people are like, I had no idea that was yours. It looked so much like a Poncho card or a Seb card.
You're like, I know.
Any artist in the chat right now, draw a stick figure and get them all compiled and send them all to Kris at one time and have him point out which one is which.
Send it
to me. Put it to the test.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. A stick figure. No, I can't do a stick figure. You have to color it.
Poncho even just said now all the artists are going to start asking you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Which might tell.
Poncho would too.
Oh man. So yeah, I man, this has been great. You're great. Like there is one question that that I saw Lindy actually. I don't know if I can find it, but he actually had a question, but it was a long time ago and I missed it. Wait, Gail's actually saying Kelsey is the Humble Dumble Queen. Oh, because of the Humble Dumble. That's such a weird one.
It's a weird one.
Okay. So here's something that popped in my head. What is one beastie that you were given and you were just kind of like, what? What is this? Like,
hang on. Hold that thought.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it. Lily just sent that to me.
Who sent you that?
Lily just sent that to me. She's like, send me her stick figure.
Lily's on point.
It
awesome. Just popped up on Discord. I was like, of course
that
she
is
would.
Amazing.
Lily, that's a great stick figure.
Kelsey said check-in size that you want too.
I kind of really do want I want to get the artist to actually like send me a picture of something and I'll post them individually on Instagram or something and I'll get you to comment on who you actually think is that artist. I want to test this now. It reminds me of like the old fairgrounds where like you'd go and the person's like, I can guess your age or your weight, and I'm like, let's go, let's see.
Put my little top hat on. Get my striped suit on. I got this. I can do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna look into making a squonk beard oil. I'll give you royalties from it. I think that would be a pretty hot item.
I would love a squonk beard oil.
All right, next MetaZoo hour, we need to throw that in there. Like we need them to make the squonk beard.
Squonk beard oil.
Squonk beard. Oh my gosh, Poncho just sent me one too.
Oh
Yes. All right, let's go, Poncho.
I don't know if you can see it. There you go.
Is that a message? Is that like
how can you tell it's Poncho's? Because it has red in it.
Because it has red in it. It's Poncho's love language, man. I'll tell you.
All right, Kelsey. I know you were here. You got to send him one now too. I'm waiting for Streamy to actually send you a sticker.
That's what I was saying, Kelsey. I think that's a threat. Poncho that was a hidden message.
He said, "Don't say anything, or he comes for you."
Oh God! Come on!
I guess he's coming for me.
All right. So we need Poncho to do some chibis. All right, he has to get away from the dark stuff. I want to see some light and cute stuff from Poncho. I want to see that side of you, Poncho. Okay.
He can do cute.
Spooky one.
I'm the spooky one. He is the spooky one.
These are all going to do request.
So I do chibis all the time. What you mean? Okay, fair. I want you to do a cute chibi though. Like,
hold on, stick figure with a dragon tail. Stick figure with a dragon tail. That's fitting.
Oh no! Somebody's gonna come up to me at a convention and start singing me like Dragon Tales, the theme song.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales. All right, this one's from Kelsey. Yeah.
Simple. I like it. So before I forget, and before we actually sign off, kind of just like that hole right there with you, the artists, how you guys are. I can see you guys are a good group. How was the artist retreat? Like that was something I thought was really kind of cool that you guys all went off together. Were you guys working on stuff? Were you kind of just hanging out? Were you like what? How was that actually hanging out with the group?
Who told you about that?
Instagram, because all of you were posting about it.
I actually didn't get to go to it. I was planning on going, but I got sick. Somebody got sick. One of my kids got sick. Something like that. I can't remember
now. That you didn't go. I thought all of you guys went.
No, I was going to go. I had everything planned and ready to go, and something happened. I can't even remember what happened, but I was unable to go. But they were keeping me involved and sending me pictures and group chats, and we played Super Mario Kart together. They were playing there, and I was playing from my home, which is something we do. We haven't been doing. We've been kind of busy lately, but we play the Switch together a lot, different Switch games and stuff like that.
No, I love how interconnected you guys are though. Like it isn't like I've never once ever felt like there was any sort of a rivalry between any of you guys. It's honestly one big, like, you guys are all there to help each other out, and that's something that I as a fan, as someone who covers the lore and covers the beasties you guys bring to life, I really appreciate that, because it makes it, I don't know, it's nice when you guys all actually, I guess, just one big happy family, really.
When we like each other.
Sometimes, I mean, yeah, fair. I mean, that's fair. At any time like that, you're always going to have disagreements. But I've noticed, though, I've seen, like, just from posts and other stuff like that, you guys always have each other's back. You guys always support each other, and that's huge. I feel, actually, not just for the artist group, but the franchise as a whole, really.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing that happened, and we just all kind of continued. What is she saying? Keep the fist
behind the scenes.
That is true. Kelsey will fight you.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
She's feisty.
I saw her at Water Tower. I believe it. At least most of us have.
Seb, he's my rival.
Uh-oh.
He's the one.
Oh.
We get in arguments all the time.
Oh, I can't see you arguing with anybody.
I'm just
I
kidding.
can't see it. You're a big old teddy bear with a beautiful
7-hour
mustache.
Yeah.
Kelsey's like, I got hands.
Oh,
He does,
no,
he
really?
does.
That's
I'll beat
awesome.
him.
That is freaking awesome.
I love you,
I
Kelsey.
love that.
Oh god.
I love that.
He'll use him too.
That's probably one of the coolest things, man, is honestly how, like, even in just the Discord chat, how a lot of the artists are just very, you know, they're active within the community and talking to people and stuff like that. And you guys are just so, like, easy to get along with. And even talking with you here, man, you're like, seem like a guy I could just normally hang out with. You're just, you know, and me and Rob have talked about it before. And, like, it was just like last week or something, saying, like, you know, a year ago, to think if we would, you know, be talking with the artists and stuff like that, like, it just seemed like such a crazy idea. Mm-hmm. But, like, now, like, getting to talk to you guys and having you come on the show and things like that, it just opens your eyes, and honestly, it makes me like MetaZoo even more. So it's just, yeah, you guys do a killer job, man. You guys are just overall good people. It's awesome to see, man. Honest to God.
The entire last week, anytime I was telling anybody about the interview, for some reason in my head, anytime you came up, the gift from Wolf of Wall Street where they're one of us, one of, that's what came in my head every single time.
Exactly.
And like I sent it to Mike a couple of times, I sent it to a couple other friends, but like that's, and it's all of the artists, because I haven't had a chance to actually meet all of you guys yet, but the ones that I have met, the community members, like the staff members, stuff like that, like you guys exude this presence like that. It just really, I feel, uplifts the entire community. But at the same time,
100%.
to use the word, you have this, every single one of you has this realness that makes you human, that actually makes you where it feels like you are one of us. I mean, and like Mike just said, like a year ago, I would never have thought that I would have had the opportunity to talk to you or send Pancho a message and get Pancho to actually like respond, or like talk to Andy or any of them, like falling in love with Jet because of that Jersey Devil print from CryptidCon. Like, I never would have thought of it. So like, thank you. And I mean, it's not just you, the entire artist group that's here with MetaZoo, the team, the community, everybody. Like I said, I keep talking about, I keep hounding, and I'm going to do it from now on. But MetaZoo family, because like that's literally, like Mike said, like I'd love to actually go and hang out with you. Like let's go out to dinner, let's hang out. Because I've realized with these interviews, I'm nervous sometimes because I'm talking to these amazing people, but these people are people and they're real people. Yeah. And that I don't know, it's very humbling at the same time.
Is it crazy for you to hear that kind of stuff? Like,
yeah,
you know, like the people are like, look at you like that. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, I get to talk to Kris, you know, like, is that?
It's still surreal. And it's been 2 years, almost 2 years now. And it's still weird for me because, you know, before I was doing this, I was just in construction and nobody was going, oh, Kris from construction. And I'm like, but now people come up to me, you know, especially when you have like those massive lines at Collecticons, and they're like, you know, people are literally like dancing to see you. And I'm like, I want to make the experience as special to them or as it is to me, like feeling how excited they are. And so I just want to treat people like they're real people, and I'll go over there and I'll get around the booth and give people hugs. And I'll, you know, when they have like a cutoff or like lunchtime, I'll go and stand in line with people and talk to them. I just want, you know, I think that's what one of the charms of MetaZoo is how accessible everything is. Like you can talk to Mike, you can send Mike a message and he'll probably respond to you. And, or at least in Discord, you know, you have MetaZoo hours, not as frequent as they used to be, but you still have them and you can talk to them. And this is the creator of MetaZoo. And you can talk, like Pancho is in here right now, you know, you can talk to all of us. We just like hanging out and being real people with y'all. It's weird because like I remember meeting is that Kris?
That's Kris from construction.
Old coworker there, man.
I remember meeting, like I've gone to like conventions and stuff and seen celebrities, never stood in line to get their autographs or anything. But like one of the first ones is when I met Rico Fajardo, who's the voice actor of Mirio Lemillion from My Hero Academia.
Oh, cool.
I met him at one of the it was the second Collecticon, and I had drawn him a picture, and I went to give it to him, and then he like was super nice. He wanted to talk, and then we had ramen afterward, and we went and had food together. And then at the next Collecticon, he like came and hang out in my booth with me for a little while, and like it's weird to think about. Like this is he's an actor. He's been in TV shows and stuff, and he's a famous voice actor. He's done a ton of stuff. And if you're into anime, he's done just a ton of voices. He's a voice acted in Dragon Ball stuff and Black Clover, and you name it, he's probably been in it. And it's just weird, but he's just a real person. He's just really humble, really sweet guy, and most people. I think there's some that let it go to their head, but I don't think anybody in MetaZoo has done that yet. So I hope that
stay humble.
Stay humble. Yep, exactly.
Stay humble. That's what it's all about.
100%.
I love how, and I mean, and that goes with almost anybody that I've met in this community that's ever been in an elevated state for whatever it is, for one of the artists or one of the staff members, even down to Sean, who won the water tower. That's the one big theme I keep seeing across the board is everybody is extremely happy to be where they are. They're extremely fortunate to be able to do what they do. They're very humble for the people that appreciate what they do. And they just want to give it 100% in order to fulfill that expectation that everybody really has in the community. So like to you, the entire artist team, the staff members, everybody, thank you for what you do. Cause we wouldn't, I mean, it was surreal actually at Earth Tower because I had Afton and Isaac actually thanking me for doing my lore videos. Isaac told me, he was like, I listen to you sometimes when I draw. And like, that was kind of surreal to me because I was like, wait a minute, no. And they were thanking me. And I'm like, no, thank you guys. Because without what you do, without bringing these things to life, to drawing them and creating them and all of this, I wouldn't be able to do anything that I do. So, I mean, like, thank you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Again, one of us. I always think
you're welcome, and thank you. And I watch most of your videos as well. Actually, I watch them with my two oldest sons. They love to watch the lore and stuff, and so yeah, it's kind of a family thing with y'all too. So thank y'all. Again,
MetaZoo family. That's, I mean, I know like Mike actually with his daughter, like he'll get his daughter actually in there doing some of the rip and ship sometime on TCG Island on Facebook. I mean, like the more I look and the more I actually start recognizing that whole point of everything that I've wanted to try to do with the whole lore was to make it to where it was not just family friendly, but it was family invested, to where families getting invested in actually this storyline, these characters, this IP. And I'm starting to see that happen a lot more, like especially the last couple months or so. And so that's really, really exciting, especially since we're still pre-IP.
Right. Surprisingly.
So yeah, I know. I can't believe we're doing everything that we're doing, and the storyline, honestly, it really hasn't dropped. But yeah, I mean, do you have any closing comments? Do you want to any shout outs or anything like that? I can't think of anything else to ask you. You've been an amazing, like, thank you for being here. You've been amazing, my man.
Yeah, just hey, I'm looking forward to that squonk beard oil.
He's gonna get you, Mike.
It's coming, and you're probably gonna be expecting a few
dragon tails
with hard hats on, with little stick figures around, and all that good stuff. So
Kris from Construction. I want a card now that says Kris from Construction.
Kris from Construction.
Oh my gosh. Yep, it's coming.
For some reason, every time you say squonk oil, it makes me think of Pirelli's elixir from Sweeney Todd. I don't know if you're familiar with that musical. It's my favorite musical of all time. But yeah, for some reason, it just I get Pirelli's elixir stuck in my head. So
That's good. That's really good.
But yeah, Dragon Tales are real.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a
Real.
big
He didn't miss it
right
that
there,
time.
man.
He didn't miss it that time. But again, thank you, Kris, for being here. Thank you for being the first artist on Let's Talk MetaZoo. I'm really excited to see not only where MetaZoo goes in the future, but also where your art goes, the beasties you cover, how your art evolves over the next couple years with the different art styles for going into Yokai Island and then potentially going into Grimm's Kingdom, depending on how the art style evolves or changes, things like that. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being, again, a strong pillar in this community. I mean, like I keep saying, one of us. Just thank you. I can't stop saying it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
No, you're awesome, man. This was fun. This was definitely this was one of my funnest ones. Yeah. I think. I
don't think I've laughed this hard in a while.
Yeah, no, this was fun.
I love how many jokes you had. You had not only you, but also Kelsey and Poncha. Everybody jumping with the jokes. I love it.
You just wait for the next time.
Oh yeah,
I'll really let loose.
Oh god. I'm not sure exactly when the next Let's Talk MetaZoo. We'll have an episode definitely on Monday. I'm still trying to talk to Abel to see if I can get him to come on potentially maybe on Thursday, the winner of the Earth Tower, Abel Jacoby. So stay tuned for that. Once again, our amazing host, the beautiful, the one and only Kris Kampmann. Thank you, my man. You're amazing. Poncho, you're gonna have to come on then and actually see if you're actually funnier than Kris. That's a challenge I'm throwing down right now.
Poncho's
you can even sketch if you want to the entire time. But yeah, I mean, anything you want to add, Mike?
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Pew, 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 pew.
No, just recapping on basically what I've already said, that it's cool to see, somebody with as much, popularity as you and the things you've accomplished, and just to still be a humble, down-to-earth person and to joke around and things like that. And thank you for everything you do, man. It's awesome. I'm definitely, probably going to hit you up on some sketch cards for sure.
Sounds good.
Ones, man.
You best be getting that Adam sketch card. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah,
thanks to everybody that hung out with us tonight. You guys are awesome. I see a lot of the same names in all the streams. Thank you guys so much. You guys, the activity in the chat, you guys make this show what it is too, man. So we love the good questions when they're coming out, and it does help, really show whoever we have on, in this case, Kris, that it's all just normal people at the end of the day. And it gives you a better insight on, just how much creativity and effort really goes into all of this stuff, in regards to the art, man. It's just hearing all of this stuff. It's pretty cool. And I'll even be honest, man, I did not know Ectena was in UFO, which is crazy because Ectena is my favorite beastie from Native. So I am going to have to go find that card now. So, yeah.
I mean, it's like I always say, dude, the art, honestly, for the most part, when it comes to the lore and stuff, the art in the cards, the art on the banners and stuff like that, that's all we have to go off of right now. And so, again, from someone who's obsessed with the lore, thank you guys for bringing this storyline to life before we actually have an IP that actually, like a book or a TV show or something. Because, again, without you guys, we wouldn't be able to really try to figure anything out. So hats off to all of you guys, and hats off for being able to keep secrets. And I'm so sorry that I was not trying to pry stuff from you tonight.
Oh no,
I promise you I wouldn't.
You're fine.
He showed me he's lying. I'm just kidding.
You stop. But again, my name is Turmentic. That's the beautiful CNO right over there next to me, and underneath was our amazing guest, Kris Kampmann. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. Again, shout out to the entire chat. Like Mike said, you guys were awesome. The great questions tonight too. Huge shout out to Dean as well. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you to all the other artists that actually showed up as well too. I know Poncho, Seb, Kelsey. I know I'm probably
Lily was
missing
in
a
here.
couple. Lily was
Seb.
here for a little bit. Thank you. You guys are amazing. I love this community. I love this game. I love this story. Secret chats, of course, Alan right there in the last little comment. But yeah, I love you guys. I love the community. I love everything about this. MetaZoo to the moon. And we'll see you guys next Monday. Later.